Welcome back, everybody. This is Patrick with the Alphas and Outliers podcast. This is the second part of the episode that we did with Frank Latella and Mike Sandbach. So sit back and enjoy. So, you kept going. You started early in your business career, in sales and stuff like that. What was your motivation early on? And once you answer that, I'm gonna juxtapose that against what motivates you now.
Yeah, dude, to be quite honest with you, early on, so like when I got hurt playing hockey, it's just part of my story that I didn't tell.
Yeah.
Dude, I got my senior year is when I got hurt.
High school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And
that's right. You didn't in college.
Yeah, bro. And it's crazy because my life seemed so figured out. Right. It was just it was like a straight line. I was going to the show. You know what I mean? That was it. I was fucking good. And that's what was going to happen.
Did you play again?
I was a goalie, dude.
That's right.
Yeah. So we're all
guys at home. If you could see Mike, I know you can see him, but guys, you can attest to this. Mike is a big fucking dude, but he is fucking huge.
It's so funny. My wife today, she's just we'll go to the Panthers games down in Sunrise, and she's just oh, you played the laziest position on the ice. I was just let me tell you, honey, no, it's the most athletic. That is the most athletic position on the fucking ice.
I tried playing hockey once at a local league that was at the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
When they were the Anaheim Ducks. I don't know what they're called now. But there was a local league, and a friend of guys I used to work with wanted me to come out. He was going to join the league. He wanted to be on this team. And I think it was the Ducks team or whatever. So I came out to one practice. Okay. I can skate, but I've never skated on hockey skates. And I put on the gear, and I was going to play goalie. Dude, the gear alone kicked my ass. Okay. Just having all that shit on. I was overheating, standing on ice. For God's sake.
Yeah, dude, you got to be mentally insane to stand in front of 110 mile an hour.
I don't know how. I mean, that and the goalies are the most athletic people on the ice.
It was just fun.
You're contortionist. How do you do that? How do you?
How much flexibility is needed,
bro? Back in the day, it was I could do full splits.
Yeah, I couldn't do that at that point. I was in my late 30s when I tried that. And I've always been, because I've been in martial arts most of my whole life, and I was always very flexible. I could always pretty much do whatever I needed to do. When you put me on freaking skates and put all that crap on me and everything, and told me to just not the splits, not the full splits, but the knee down with the lower legs out.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's
dude. I thought I was gonna die.
Okay. Yeah, stretching multiple times a day, real deal, training you are a pro athlete, you know what I mean? I'm a big guy, act as if, you know what I mean? So every day I would wake up and I would do what I know the pros were doing, because during the summers when I wasn't in school, my dad had me in these pro camps all over the friggin' country, and training with these guys. So I'm a student, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do what the winners do,
right?
You know what I mean?
Which is.
And that's kind of how I got into that. But kind of back to when I got hurt, dude, it was a very dark time. You know what I mean? I was the messed up part is if I wasn't so stubborn and I went to the hospital right away and stuff, it probably wouldn't have been as bad if I didn't wait a couple of days.
Right.
Right. But I'm me, so naturally I, do things my way, and it ended up getting worse than it had to have been. And I'm laid up in this hospital bed, and they got me on heavy IV drugs and stuff like that.
Ugh.
And when I get out, they prescribe me Perk 30s. And
holy crap.
Yeah, dude. And that went into years of
really
bad addiction. When I finally didn't need them for the pain anymore, I tried to stop and realize oh shit, I can't, you know what I mean? And it got like crazy. You know what I mean? I'll leave it there. It got pretty crazy.
Right.
And, you know, it led to, you know, like high school teachers, like I would show up like all messed up in class. You know what I mean? And like teachers, just, oh, you're never going to be anything, like this, that, and the other thing. Like, you got to clean your fucking life up. Like, and
did you listen to them?
no, dude, I don't listen to anybody. You know, and so like when I first got into like sales and first got into like my business career, it was basically just like a giant F you to everybody.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, just like, I'm going to do this because you said that I could not, you know? And I remember, dude, I remember this like it was yesterday. I had this history teacher, Mr. Siever, right? And
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I hope he is, dude. I hope he sees this.
I hope he sees this.
Yeah, I hope he sees this.
Tag Mr. Seaver.
But anyway, like I just picked up this new like M3 Beamer.
Yeah.
And like it was cool. And you know, like I was probably like 21 years old. Like,
right.
I'm like one of the youngest like finance managers in the New England region. And I'm just like crushing it in the car game. And, you know, I bought myself a sweet car and I just drove through my old high school parking lot. And this dude happens to like be getting into like his 20-year-old Toyota Tacoma. And I was just like, hey, what's up, dude? You know, like, nice truck. And just friggin' bounced off like an asshole, dude. Like, well, but like, and like looking back, like it's not my proudest moment, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, like that's what kept me going. Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, you tell me that I can't do something, I'm going to do it like 10 times better.
That's, and I can totally relate to that because I started that about that same time. And I don't want to make this about me, but I can totally relate to what you said because I had a dad that basically did that to me when I was a kid. I was an athlete. Told me I was too small to play football. I was an all-league freaking linebacker. I went to college, played football in college and stuff, and I was okay. But it's because my dad said, you're too small for this. I also play the drums. I was a musician. He said, you're too big to play the drums. Drummers were wiry guys. So what did I do? I went out and I got really good at those too. So can totally relate to exactly. Somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm going to do it and excel at it just to prove you're full of shit.
Yeah, dude, that's it. You know what I mean? And that's what kept me going for like a long time, you know? And then, having a family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like the next part, but like a whole different set of fears comes in with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, like fear of failure that we were talking about earlier, like that was always there, you know what I mean? But it was more so like a burning, like, F you that kept me going. But like that fear of failure, like magnifies like 10x once I held my daughter for the first time.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty powerful.
It is, dude. Yeah. And it's, that keeps me going. You know what I mean? And like, people ask me like, you know, like how do you know it's going to work? You know what I mean? Like, my dad thinks I'm crazy, right? My dad thinks I'm nuts, like quitting corporate America to like do something that I actually enjoy and like don't friggin' wake up hating every day. It's like, how can you're like, what about the health insurance? What about this? What about that? I'm like, dude, I will figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to not put food in my kid's mouth. I'm not going to not put a roof over their head.
Right.
Like, I'm going to figure it out no matter what.
Right.
And like, that's very powerful. Like having that anchor and a wife that supports me through the whole thing. Like she's the first one. She told me like 6 months ago, like, fuck these guys, leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like,
that's what you need.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm like a little aggressive. I love it. Right. I stay right where you're at, but like, give me a little bit. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I had the same discussion and, she's like, this is dead. You know, I said, okay, I'm going this way full time now. I'm going to go, that's it. It's getting 100% of my effort and I'll make it.
Sometimes you just got to make a decision and just go with it, dude. You know,
and it sucks because you hate walking away from something because it kind of feels like failure at the same time. But it's like, well, I never really got a chance once I got here. It was like, Yeah, that's just the way the market is.
And that's
timing is everything in business.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to.
And when when we moved here, it was the same thing. It was like timing seemed good, but then somebody anyway, the everything just tanked.
Oh, for sure. Timing is super important because, as I mentioned, I was 2 doors down in a smaller unit. It was a 5-year lease.
Yeah.
And, at the beginning of the lease, I'm like, 5 years, it's a long time.
It's eternity.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, let me do it. So let's say 4.5 years into it, I start thinking, okay, am I going to renew? Am I going to find a new spot? What am I going to, like, it's certainly like stopping wasn't there. Like things were already good. But then the thought was, okay, I think I'm going to come to this spot. But then there was that back and forth between, all right, the guy here is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
The lease is about to end. Even
that happened right as your lease a couple doors down was about.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, timing. This is the location of this spot, like in relation to my house and in all of my clients already knowing where we are. I didn't want to relocate,
Right.
Yeah.
Because there are almost no reality-based self-defense gyms around. There are no other gun stores around within a 5-mile radius. I'm like, this is the spot I want to be in. So that
plus you got familiarity. Everybody knows where you're at.
Of course, exactly. So for me, it was like the huge decision on, okay, should I do it now? And there's really no right or wrong. It's like, do you feel like this is the time? If so, do it, jump in, and then figure it out.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
what I did. Timing.
Yeah, it's a timing. And again, like you said, how do you feel about it? It's scary. It's always scary to take that step. But you know what? I always tell people, from my own personal experience, because I don't like to just hypothesize, but if I've done it, it's like I've failed before. But you know what? I learn from why. And it's like, if you fail, fine, but learn from your mistakes. Don't be stupid and keep making the same mistakes over again. Pick yourself up, look back, say, what did I do wrong? Be honest with yourself, and then go, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Instead, I know now to do this and move forward like that. But it is always scary because you don't know if you're going to fall on your face or not. And when you do, it's like, all right, pop right back up and dust off, figure out what it got to do and change direction or whatever it is, but move forward and do it. So that's great. That's good. So where do you see this thing going now? What's your goal?
So the goal in the future is, so as far as Boynton Guns is concerned, the gun store, in the future, I'm going to end up either breaking apart from Strength for Combat, new, separate facilities, or still have this as, let's say, the headquarters, but have an additional firearm retail store that also has a shooting range. So the idea is
like a shoot straight type deal where like they have like the range and store in one.
Right.
Gotcha.
So the shooting range is definitely something that I'm gonna have. It's not like, oh, maybe it's something I'm going to have one day. But my idea is, I don't like the idea of a public range.
I agree.
It scares me, to be completely honest.
I agree.
As a firearms instructor, I go in there and I see people doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, looking down barrels and shit.
Oh my God, guns are pointed everywhere.
Yep.
Oh, let's take a picture. And I'm standing here like, you're pointing this gun right at me. Finger on the trigger.
Yeah, exactly.
So the idea being, instructors can come in, qualified instructors with insurance can come in and bring their students, law enforcement, military, and approved citizens. Right. So you go through our proficiency test.
Love that.
And, it's a safe place to be that's semi-private.
Right.
And the benefit being, because one of the downsides of not having a range is someone coming in saying, well, I want to try that gun first, right? Many people,
sales aspect to it.
Exactly. Yeah, so many people say, well, I want this gun. Like, they know what they want, so it's easy. But then you have some of the first-time gun buyers that
no drivers.
They're not too sure about it.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is when someone walks through the door, we just have this way of connecting with them. to where they will go to a shooting range, rent one of their guns, but then come back here to buy it. Right? Because we built this relation with them where they're like, no, we trust you, we like you, we want to do business with you.
There's a need for that in this area.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a vetted range. It's like, I don't shoot as much as I would like because I need to drive all the way the hell out to Okeechobee to get a 360 range where just me and people that I trust are on that range.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I go to like don't even get me started on Delray, you know what I mean? And then like Palm Beach Shooting Center, it's like I just don't trust it. You know what I mean? It's just like I want to go there to like, you know, fire off a couple rounds and like get some training in, not like constantly be looking over my shoulder for who's pointing a barrel at me. You know what I'm saying? It's just that there's a huge need for that. Huge need for that.
And the thing for me is I have ran into so many people that could either be investors or partners.
Yeah.
But I pretty much said, I'm just going to do it, at least in this stage, this, what I call small, but, you know, it's a relatively bigger stage where it's better if I do it myself
100%.
For now. And in the future, when it comes to for example, I keep Boynton Guns retail on the front, Strength for Combat in the back as the headquarters. That's 100% mine. And then maybe in the future, having a Boynton Guns 2, which has the shooting range, and have a partner or investor then. I mean, it's the future. So there's always thoughts, and I see one that I'm like, oh, interesting. I'll write it down. But I'm not one to just, I used to be extremely impulsive. Now I'm just impulsive. but
you're honest.
But at least I think more about it. And I'm like, you know what? Although this person, whoever that might be, and I've had some people that say, okay, I want to invest in this thing, and it could have been bigger. I'm like, but I know what I can do, and I trust myself, so I'm just going to keep it where it's at for now. But in the future, 100%, there's going to be a range, and, you know, a security agent, it's a separate side of it, but I want to have a security agency as well, because I'm a licensed security officer. You know, I have the D&G license in Florida, but having the ability to do, let's say, like executive protection, like bodyguard work, to be able to train an officer, arm the officer, like we have the ability to do everything. So the third part, right, it like what do you call that? A tripod is going to be the security agency. And is that going to be under the same roof? Is that going to be separate? It's in the future. But shooting range and security agency will be the two additions to the gym, training center, and the gun store. So that's at some point.
That could be huge, man.
It could.
You could basically farm your own like executive security team. Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool. That's very cool. Let me ask a question here, because I know we kind of started off looking at your vehicle outside, which is ultimately cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, for me that doesn't like SUVs,
dude. I never did either.
It's so funny because, like I said out there, I've never seen one I liked. Honestly, nothing.
Yeah.
And then I saw that Aston Martin 707.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the Jaguar F-Pace.
Yes.
SVR.
The SVR, yeah.
And I'm like, that thing is insane, but it's still it's a SUV. But if you're going to have an SUV, you better get a cool one. You better get one that's just, badass.
I always thought kind of like they're like mom mobiles, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly. But now I have a different mindset on those. I don't know that it's going to be my next car, but I think it could be a car in the future or something like that, because I do like those two models and stuff. I don't know what your thoughts are, Frank. Or do?
No, so his SUV is sick.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you have a car in mind, a Grail car maybe in the future that you're
Grail cars, dude? Don't get me started.
So
to go there.
To be honest, I don't have that, but I want it.
What do you want?
I'll tell you what I have. I don't know what I want right now because my main.
What do you like?
Let's
Let's go there. What do you like?
Let me tell you what I have. And it's certainly nothing. It's
I know what
nothing
you have.
fancy, right? Basic Subaru Forester SUV.
Are you a Democrat?
It's functional. It's the liberal car.
It is. It's
deliberate.
It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper. You would never.
Nobody would expect a controller to pull up on the scene.
It's the Subaru. It's the Subaru liberal car.
Does it have a rainbow sticker on that?
But
that would be what? That's what you need.
so here's the thing. It's the undercover car, right?
It is.
They're not expecting a couple guns being in there. So what's functional about it is that I tossed the paddleboard on top.
Went there.
I tossed the bikes on the back. Last week, my girl and I went camping in the Keys. Perfect, right? So in the future, yeah, I'll step away from the liberal car, from the Demmobile. Oh, I don't want Patrick's podcast to get canceled before it gets started. I have so many jokes.
Yeah, this thing is they're gonna take this off of YouTube immediately.
It's fine.
I have some
Joe Rogan's still on. We're okay.
as part of my Submobile, but I could see myself in something Range Rover-y because I like the fact that it's larger.
Right.
You know, like I like the fact that okay, I can tow. Not that I'm towing anything, but like I could put stuff on top. I could toss stuff in the back. Toss my dog who's sitting right here. You can't see him right now, but toss him in the car. Like everything is just, yeah. I'm able to do functional things.
By the way, everybody who's watching, there is a dog by his lap.
There is. I'm not scratching my leg for the past hour. I'm petting the dog. It's almost like Dr. Evil, you know?
That's Jim the gym dog, and he's really cool.
Jim the gym dog. We'll feature him in a moment.
Nice. Do you have a car that's like a dream car of yours? I mean, like to.
You know, I could appreciate vehicles, but I really don't have that yet. Like I don't have that. I'm working towards this. It might just be something that I stumble upon. I'm like, oh, that's sick. I want that.
Yeah.
I really don't have I need to have this.
Those are the best purchases, though.
Right.
Yeah.
As where you just kind of like stumble upon it. You're like, oh, whoa. Okay, this is it.
For real.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, did you have cars and like part of your thing? Like you're always into cars, or did that come later?
Dude, I was always into cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a Ferrari guy.
I just came from a Ferrari event, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that like Lambos are really, really cool.
Yeah.
I just like Ferraris.
Yeah.
You know, I mean you talk about the Grail car.
Yeah.
Right. Like I gotta have an F430 in my
Well, there you go. There you go.
you know, that's badass. You know, I had that on the wall as a kid.
Right.
You know, I had like the F430. Like I think a lot of people my age had that on their like a poster, just like the red with the tan interior.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But if you're talking about like, you know, cars that like I need to have 100% in my garage before I die, that 40.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's just like that is like the ultimate.
Yeah.
To me, that is like the ultimate like trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for younger kids, it might be like the LaFerrari or something like that. But for me, that F40 with like just like
That was my Grail car. That's
that's my Grail.
that was my poster car.
Yeah,
40.
the
100%.
like the F430, that's attainable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I could go buy one of those right now if I wanted to.
Sure.
But like the car that I'll have, like, you know what I mean, on the spinning, you know what I mean, like carousel in the middle of my garage will be the F40.
Nice.
So let's circle back to this Subaru. Can your Grail cars get you from Boynton Beach to Key West on a half a tank of gas?
No. We don't have Grail cars for that. That's not what Grail cars are for. By the way, check out that Lambo.
It's really cool. And an STO?
Evo.
Evo?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Looks like a Batmobile.
Who's that?
I don't know who it is. The customer of Rocky's Garage. He's going to be.
Oh, yeah. There. Dude, he's a cool
Yeah,
dude.
definitely.
Yeah, he's going to be a guest on the podcast.
Is he?
Yeah, I talked to him today. He's going to do it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, it's cars are cars. I mean, I love cars. That's what my other addiction is, cars.
Yeah.
By the way, did you ever get that Porsche you were talking to Hunter about?
No. I decided that I was going to quit my job instead.
Yeah. I understand. I get it. I'm in a
Dude, I'm just
in the same spot.
I decided, so I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like this close.
Yeah.
But you know, I decided to take the money that I was going to put in that and reinvest it back into the business. Just because, and not to say that that wouldn't be an investment in the business, because I planned on keeping it at Haggerty, and you know what I mean, kind of leaving it at Haggerty Garage and becoming a member there and everything like that. So it would be business, you know what I mean? But like,
Sure.
I kind of like was weighing my options, and that money was better off invested into, you know, watch inventory. And like the second that I did that, I made that decision and, you know, had my best month ever.
Nice.
So, you know, it's justified, you know. I would have been so pissed if I did it and passed up on that car and then had it, you know what I mean? But like, I was thinking about this earlier when you were talking, Frank. A skill that is so overlooked besides sales, like in this world, dude, is decision making.
Decision making, 100%.
I like I suffer from this sometimes too, right? So I'm like almost like saying this to like myself, like, dude, like I have met so many people and have myself been like a victim of just indecision,
right?
Where like it's either decide to do it or decide not to do it,
right?
But don't like not decide anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of where I was this last 6 months, dude, right? Where it was like, am I going to stay in corporate America and do this as a side gig, right? And not give it 100% of my attention? Am I going to do like both? Like, what am I going to do here? And I just decided that I was just going to keep on doing like nothing, just stick to the status quo. And like when that happens, nothing gets done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So like
so you'll never move forward.
You never move forward.
Right.
Exactly. So, you know, once I made a decision, and it started with not getting that car actually, right? Once I made the decision where I just had like the money sitting on the sidelines. And once I made that decision to go all in, I was just kind of like, all right, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And is it the right decision? I don't know. I'll know like a year from now. You know what I mean? But like at least I did something. Right. You know?
Yeah. Agreed. Well, guys, thanks for coming on. It was great catching up and great hearing about your stories and where you're going. We're definitely going to have you back. We're going to do this again. So again, thanks. And we'll catch up with you later.
Time to go buy a gun from Frank.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Wait, say goodbye to Jim. Hold up.
Bye, Jim.
Bye, Jim. See you later, buddy.
This is Jim, the gym dog. All right. Good job, Jim.
This episode of Alphas and Outliers is sponsored by Boynton Guns and Strength for Combat in Boynton Beach, as well as Article of Luxury in West Palm Beach.